Hey, I want to start today by promising you something. You know, over the many years of podcasting, I think I have been, how do I say this? I've been doing things um, at the quality of the experience for you, like slurping coffee, for example. And I think a few parrots outside is okay, but not if it's like straight up the movie Birds, right? Not if it feels like you're at Jurassic Park. It's very hard to listen to that, of course. And I think I've been allowing myself to let those things go, not because I'm lazy, but because hiding behind my quote unquote brand, or that I am casual over clinical, and I love just kind of showing up anywhere in a kind of honestly very here and now. And because I believe in that, uh, I've been realizing it's at the expense of your listening experience. So, anyway, my promise to you is this: no more slurping beverages. And if there's too much wildlife outside my house, I will go inside the house, or I won't do the episode. I'll do it when it's more quiet. So I want you to have a good audio experience. I was talking to a friend the other day, and she said, actually a client, and she said, I love this person's content. Hopefully, she wasn't talking about me, but I can't stand her voice, and because I can't stand her voice, I just won't listen to it. And I was thinking, because I got really insecure, I was thinking, oh, I don't like my voice, and I wonder how many people um, aren't listening to this because of my voice. And there's nothing I can do about my voice, but there are things I can do about slurping coffee, or the amount of screaming parrots outside my house. Okay, on today's episode, I want to answer a few of your questions. Number one, this is a really interesting question. Realized I'm into someone now that they're seeing someone else. Do I tell them or wait? And you know what my question is back to you? My first question is this: are you into them because they're seeing someone else? Right? Because I think a lot of times we won't find someone attractive or that attractive, then they find love or they start dating someone, and then we're like, oh, wait a minute, did I miss something? And then you take this other look and you're like, oh, this person is attractive. There's something about getting something that we can't have, or in this case, getting someone we can't have, that makes this kind of like, it makes the whole kind of chase. And I don't know if that's it's not a healthy kind of term when it comes to love and dating, I think, but it makes the chase fiery. It puts more coal into that, the kind of like the whole chase, right? And so that's my first question to you: is, did you not think this person was attractive? Because you obviously, because you used the word now, so you're realizing that you're in someone now, which means that you have known this person for a while. But now that they're dating someone else, you're realizing that you're attracted to this person. And should you should you wait or to see how it plays out, or should you tell them? Oh, this is a really tough question. What would I do? You know what I would do? I would be respectful. I would wait, right? Because and listen, depending on how good of a friend you guys are, they're gonna know. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna know, like, that you have said nothing, gave no clues, and suddenly they're dating someone else, and now you're kind of flirting, or even expressing to them that you find them attractive. It's kind of an indirect way of cock blocking someone, someone from the person that they're dating. And to me, there's something about that feels a little, I don't know, dishonest, or it doesn't feel like you are caring about this person and their new love experience. It sounds like, it would feel like to me that you're putting yourself first. Does that make sense? And so I would wait. I would not only wait, Here's the active piece. The active piece isn't you expressing your love for someone. The active piece is you sitting with your own shit and what's coming up. And is this attraction coming from a place of truth, or are you suddenly attracted to someone because they are now taken, right? So that's where I put my energy in, processing what's happening for me. I would not react, because I think processing what's coming up for you is more of a response. A reaction is, oh, hey, I've been into you all along. Look at me. Let's build something. Fuck that guy. That to me, that's a reaction, not a response. So yes, I would respect your friend and the new love they found, and be happy for your friend, and work through whatever's coming up with you, with a therapist, right? Not like with your mom. I mean, not that moms are bad, but I don't think we can process with I shouldn't say this. It's hard with my mom because she barely speaks English. I barely speak Korean, but and we do. Some of us have amazing parents, healthy parents. We can talk about anything, and we're gonna get such a neutral, just a safe space, right? But I would say most of us, we do not have that relationship with our parents. So I would not process with parents. And even friends, of course, we go to our friends, and here's the thing. Okay, you can process with friends. Just take it with a grain of salt, right? Because they're coming into it biased, completely biased, not only because of their own story, but also because they're your friend, and so they're gonna probably champion you and or be competitive with you. I mean, there's so many layers, right, with friendships. Okay, next question. Having to live with my ex, how do I move on and do what's right for me at the same time? So this is really tricky, and it's also common. A lot of times people go through separations or even divorce, and they're not able to, at the moment, live separately, right? So like maybe because of financial reasons or whatever the reason, you are living with the person that you just broke up with, or they broke up with you. And this is tough. This is tough because what's needed, the number one thing that's needed after any expired relationship is space, is distance, right? So not only space and distance when it comes to time, but also like you live here, you sleep here, you eat here, you shit here. And if the person that you broke up with, or the person that broke up with you, is in that same space, it's just so hard to your nervous system is dysregulated, right? I mean, there's just eggshells everywhere, and there are a few instances where the expiration is mutual, right? The breakup's mutual, and people more become like roommates, and there is no drama, there's no weirdness, right? But I think those cases are very few. Most people, it's one person who wants to end the relationship, the other person doesn't. So there's a lot of hurt feelings and weirdness. Usually, if you're living with someone, right, you've built some kind of life with this person, even if it's been for a little bit. So maybe shared friends, interest. Maybe you're sharing vehicles. Maybe you're sharing rent. I don't know, but there's a lot of kind of interwoven layers of life. There's a lot of overlap, and so in order for people to heal and not be constantly activated, you really have to give yourself a new space, and so I get it. It may not be possible. There might be financial things that prevent this. There may be, whatever your situation is. But the first thing I want to say is you got to make it a priority. I think a lot of people just like, oh, it's good, whatever, well, we have separate rooms, and we both work, so we rarely see each other. I mean, I get it, but you're coming home and you're going to see the other person. There's going to be possibly anger, resentment. There's going to be, everything's just going to feel loaded, right, and heavy. And so I would do everything I can to, even if it's like moving in with a friend temporarily, I think it's really hard to start healing and processing and accepting and moving on if you are still living with the person. I think it's probably the I think it's one of the greatest barriers to that, you know? So I would make it a priority. If you can't do it, I get it. Some people just can't do it. And if you can't do it, then what I would do is I would create strong boundaries. And maybe that's the word strong. I would be honest. So I would say, hey, listen, this is going to be very hard for us, and I don't want you to have hurt feelings if I decide to, spend more time with my friends, or things are going to be different, and so because we are now separated or divorced or no longer partners, I'm going to create some space for myself. You don't have to announce that you're going to take the long way home or sit outside your driveway for 30 minutes in your car before coming in to prepare yourself. But I would hint that, yeah, I'm not going to be home a lot. Or basically, you're going to intentionally create a space that is safe and for you, right? You're going to start to kind of fade out of this person's life. And so one, there's that just kind of like, hey, just letting you know, which I think is kind and healthy. And then the other piece, and this is on you, you got to put action behind that. You really have to, in your day to day, draw some boundaries. And I would do it kind of slowly, right? You don't suddenly, oh, we're not together, I don't have to text you back or whatever. I would do it slowly, gradually, right? And obviously, we're pulling from kindness, and I know sometimes the breakups can be toxic, chaotic, super hurtful, reactive. I get all that, but I would do my best to be kind, but also be firm. Be firm with what you want and the boundaries that you want to draw, and slowly, right? You don't have to text the person back right away. You don't have to revolve your day around this person. You guys don't have to share a Google Calendar anymore, right? I would take myself off that shared calendar, and I would start building my own life. That's what I would do, very slowly. And here's what's going to happen. Either your partner is going to have a strong reaction to that. If there's codependency and enmeshment in the relationship, it's going to be very hard, probably for both of you. But that's the growth. That's the stretch, right? Both of you gradually, slowly rebuilding not only yourself, but your own life and identity separate from each other. And that is much easier to do when you have your own space. But if you can't be in your own space, you still have to do that. And the only one that's going to protect you and your space is yourself. So make it a priority. You can only do the best you can, and also practice kindness and compassion to yourself as well, right? Don't compare this expired relationship with any other expired relationship. I think one of the things that we fall into the trap of is saying, well, I felt this way 6 months after my last breakup, and so I should feel that now, but I'm not. No, every relationship is different. Every ending is different. What you're going through is different, right? Just because it's a breakup or a what I call an expired relationship doesn't mean that it's going to be copy and paste. It's not going to be the same. It's going to look completely different. And also, listen, who you are now is different than who you were. So that's you may have more tools, right? You may be in a different part of your life. You may be happier, or you may be at a worse part of your life than the last time, and you may require more time to kind of get back up and stabilize. So there are a ton of reasons why it's apples and oranges. You can't compare this with what was or what happened before in previous breakups. Thank you for listening. Hey, not one slurp of coffee, and zero birds outside. This episode does not sound like I'm doing it from a pet shop. Thank you for listening. Be well. Oh, I was going to also ask you, sorry, if you could, and I haven't asked for this. I don't know if I've ever asked for this. If you could maybe send a review or hit some stars on the iTunes of this podcast. That would be super helpful. My podcast is over at Backyard Ventures now. It's a new platform. They're not a new platform, but me being on their platform is pretty new. And so, I would love some reviews if you're feeling it. Anyway, thank you for listening. Be well.